year in our mind for, okay, can Jeffrey Simmons be the centerpiece of a great defense? Because pre-torn ACL before the draft, everybody said, this guy's going second, third, fourth, fifth overall. Then he tears his ACL. He goes 19th to the Titans. He's been a good player, but he hasn't been a special player, and I do feel like they need him to be a special player.
Jeremy Fowler wrote a piece on ESPN.com, and an anonymous NFL general manager said, no one is Aaron Donald, but Jeffrey Simmons might be the closest. So, that's pretty high praise for Jeffrey Simmons, and TD said that Danico Autry may have been the addition to that defensive line that Jeffrey Simmons needed to blossom. He was a Robin, and he needed a Batman, and Danico Autry could be that Batman to his Robin.
Tune in Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6
on ESPN
102.5 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Like #1 selling Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit your local Kubota dealer for a demo today.
Coleman Tractor, working hard to keep you working with 4 locations in Clarksville, Nashville, Paris, and White House, Tennessee.
Nashville's exclusive home of ESPN Radio. Locally owned. WBUZ HD3 Laverne. 95.1 Murfreesboro. Online at thegamenashville.com. This is
ESPN
94.9. It's time to go behind the scenes with the boys in gold. This is NSC Backstage, presented by Camarina Tequila. Hosted by Tony Husband and Jamie Watson on your home for Nashville Soccer Club.
ESPN
94.9 and the Game Nashville app.
And welcome in again. Show 3. Hello from Tony Husband, Jamie Watson. You are with ESPN 94.9. If you're listening live, it's 7 o'clock Monday night. And Jamie, we've had a weekend of soccer. What a weekend of soccer. I mean, if I think about it, Saturday night, Copa America. We had Sunday, Gold Cup. We've had some MLS thrillers since we were last together in this studio.
That's right.
Have I missed anything?
Oh, there was that one other game.
Go on. You have to say
Italy versus, what's that team that they beat?
Euros.
Oh, that's right. Tony Husband. I am very surprised and happy to see you here this week.
Did you not think I'd make it in today?
I was very worried for you and all of my fellow English friends that they were going to have a rough and sad Monday after dropping a result. But you're a true professional, and you are here. And if you want to, we can turn the page on the European Championship as quickly as possible.
World Cup Qatar. That's what we're looking forward to now, isn't it? Yeah.
Is that when it'll come home?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm not sure it'll ever come home, to be honest. But the only thing I'll say, I texted you 2 minutes into the game and said only 88 minutes to hold on to this lead. I mean,
that was your best text of the day, for sure. For sure. There was so much hope in that text.
Yeah. Yeah, and there were moments where I wavered and thought, you know what, maybe we are going to hold on, but no. Anyway, congratulations, Italy, because actually I think that most people in England are united in the view that the better team won on the day. So, well done, Italy. Well done, Argentina. I mean, what a great Copa America
sealed the debate
turned out to be
for Messi, greatest of all time, because the only debate that you could make is he didn't have success at the international level, couldn't win a big tournament, and barring the World Cup, this is the next biggest tournament for Argentina's greatest player of all time.
With respect, though, to the Copa America, fantastic as it is, and I've loved watching it, and I used to love watching it back in the day as well, because I think it's a great competition, and it's a great contrast with, say, a Euros or something. Is the level of competition consistently high enough all the way through a Copa America, though, with respect to some of the smaller nations who may not be providing the same level of competition as possibly what you may see in a Euros? That's just a throwing it out there kind of point.
It's an absolute fair point. I see what you're saying, but you can only play the players and the teams around you. And for Argentina, based on where they are geographically, much like the U.S. winning the Gold Cup, it's the equivalent to that. That's the tournament that they can win. That has the next sort of most importance to the World Cup. So with respect to that's the only tournament they can really play in to test it, I do think it carries that weight. But I get what you're saying. But for the sake of me winning this argument, let's just pretend that I'm right and that is the best thing Messi could have done in Argentina. And congratulations. It was quite a weekend of international football, but we weren't on last week, and since then, it's been quite a week of football here in Nashville and in Middle Tennessee.
Absolutely. I mean, do you know what? This team, Nashville SC, has this habit of really rising to the challenge on the big stage. So Philadelphia come to town. Philadelphia come in and actually an example of a team getting an early lead and being able to hang on to it.
Yeah, so, exactly. And it was funny because the narrative that you brought in, I think at the week before was never leave early, because Nashville SC were finding ways to consistently get results, even if it was last minute of the game. I mean, literally the last minute of the game, almost last kick of the game. And then it was the complete other end of the spectrum, 2 minutes in, just barely over a minute into the game. You were saying, well, before it's been don't leave early. Now it's don't be here late.
Make sure you've got your food, sitting down and watching from the first kick, because CJ Sapong netted the winner in that one. And then we rolled into what is already brewing, a very nice rivalry. Atlanta returning to Nissan Stadium. And I know they came back in September last year. Tremendous result for Nashville on that occasion, 4-2 win. But it was played in an empty stadium. Didn't obviously have the same kind of feel. This was the first time fans had been back in numbers in Nashville to see, what is always going to be a kind of iconic game between the teams. And it produced, I have to say, one of the most game full of talking points I can remember since we've been here. It also produced 2 Nashville goals. So 2 big moments for John Freeman on ESPN 94.9 that we can enjoy once again.
Corner will occur from the far wing, where Hani Mukhtar stands, steps forward and delivers towards the near post. Header! Goal! It's Jaleel Anibaba in his first start of the season. Nashville's German designated player exhales deeply. He controls every breath in this stadium. Here comes the penalty. Scores! Nashville surges in front. Hani Mukhtar confidently slots in the penalty.
2-1 at that point. It was not to be the 3 points that everybody hoped for. 2-2. I think I said in a tweet afterwards, Jamie, I can barely think that since February 2020, there's barely been a moment where you come away pretty disappointed. I think this is maybe the first time, in fairness, and Gary Smith said it's as disappointed as he's been. Frustrating result, that one. Yeah,
that was a good point you made in your tweet. I thought you made almost an even better point at the end of the broadcast when you were referring to sometimes a tie feels like a win. When Nashville went to Atlanta on May 29th, played in front of, it was the biggest crowd in world soccer that day, over 40,000 people there. Atlanta had never given up a 2-0 lead, and Nashville go and get 2 goals through Hani Mukhtar. Because he said, we'll look back on this win today, and I'm sorry, I mean a tie. Like it had that much of a feel of a win. And then to your point at the end of the game, you said sometimes the tie feels like a win, but today maybe the tie feels like a loss. And I thought it was actually probably a very astute, poignant, and deliberate way to deliver the message, because I think it did feel that way. The fact that Nashville SC had gone up in the 74th minute they gone up a man when they were constantly on the front foot, and I felt that it was always sort of Nashville pushing the tempo and the pace of the game and driving the chances, and everything Atlanta were kind of doing were seemingly against the run of play. Obviously, they got the set piece goal early on through Anton Walks, but then from there, they sort of kind of just rested on that, and then it took another set piece off of a corner to get a second goal. But barring those set pieces, it never really felt like Atlanta was truly just, you've got players roller coaster. And I think when you look back at it, you might say this felt as though it was 2 points dropped, but I think when you start to look at the collective of this 5-game stand, which when we've talked about, we'll talk about with our special guest next segment, Mike Jacobs, him and his staff, they love breaking the season into segments, right? And I think this 5-game homestand is very much a segment of the season, and they have 2 wins and 2 draws within that segment. So collectively, you're still on pace to have a very good 5-game homestand here. Now you just need to close it out with a win against Chicago and make it a very good 5-game homestand.
Yeah, and you mentioned Mike J, special guest tonight, be joining us shortly, Nashville SC GM. And on the subject of that night against Atlanta, another thing that goes into the concoction and what made it such a unforgettable night in so many ways. I mean, even if the result wasn't quite what everyone with Nashville SC wanted, I mean, it was a thrilling game, a lot of entertainment for fans yet again at home. I mean, it's certainly a centre of entertainment this season, Nissan Stadium. But before the game, the kind of fireworks came with the arrival and the unveiling of Ake Loba as well. And, I mean, that was just great to see him march intently out to...
I think the presentation of Ake Loba to the fan base, I think it was something that was met with